Have you ever wondered why the things you hold on to the tightest are often the very things life takes away from you? You try to hold on to people. You try to hold on to situations. You try to hold on to the life you thought you were supposed to have. But somehow things still fall apart, and in those moments it feels unfair, it feels painful. It feels like the universe is working against you. Holding on is something we all do. We cling to people, we cling to situations, we cling to dreams, believing that if we hold tightly enough, nothing will slip away. We think that holding on is a sign of strength, that persistence is the measure of love or dedication. But the truth is, the very act of holding on can become the thing that stops us from growing. The invisible weight that keeps us from moving forward. When we hold on to people who no longer align with our path, we are denying both ourselves and them the chance to evolve. Every relationship has a purpose, and sometimes that purpose is not permanent. Some relationships are meant to teach us lessons, to help us recognize what we value, to mirror our own growth and blind spots. When we try to force them to stay, we trap ourselves in a cycle of disappointment, frustration, and stagnation. Holding on to situations that are no longer beneficial is just as damaging. Maybe it's a job that drains your energy instead of nurturing your potential. Maybe it's a friendship that brings more pain than joy, or a routine that leaves you feeling unfulfilled and stuck. We convince ourselves that comfort lies in familiarity, that stability is found in staying, even when every fiber of our being is telling us to move. We hold on because the unknown scares us more than the present discomfort. The mind fears change, fears loss, and fears uncertainty, so it clings to the known even when the known is suffocating. Dreams are no different. Sometimes we hold on to visions of our life that no longer fit the person we are becoming. We chase goals that once inspired us but now weigh us down simply because we invested time or effort into them. Holding on to outdated visions of ourselves keeps us from embracing the growth that is quietly happening beneath the surface. Holding on is not just about external things, it's about identity. We hold on to the version of ourselves that we think the world expects, to labels and roles that no longer reflect who we truly are. We fear judgment, fear being misunderstood, fear starting over. And so we hold on even as the universe gently, persistently nudges us toward release. Every act of holding on comes with consequences. It creates tension both internally and externally. Internally, it keeps us trapped in a loop of thoughts and emotions that drain our energy and cloud our clarity. Externally, it affects our relationships and our ability to fully embrace what life is offering. The universe has a way of forcing us to confront these attachments, whether through circumstances that push us out of comfort, through endings that break us open, or through experiences that challenge our assumptions. These moments feel painful, disorienting, and unfair because holding on has conditioned us to resist the natural flow of life. But the resistance only amplifies the difficulty. When we hold on too tightly, we create friction with the world around us. We resist the current that is trying to carry us toward growth, and instead we exhaust ourselves against something that cannot be held. The paradox is that letting go, though terrifying, is often the most powerful act of strength we can take. It is a conscious choice to release what no longer serves us, to acknowledge that our path forward requires space, clarity, and openness. It is the willingness to trust that the universe, with all its wisdom, is guiding us toward what is truly aligned with our growth and purpose. Every forced release, every moment the universe nudges us to let go, is an opportunity to realign with ourselves, to reconnect with our true desires, and to step into the life that has been waiting for us all along. Holding on may feel safe for a time, but safety without growth is stagnation, and stagnation is the slow erosion of our potential. The universe has a way of removing what no longer serves you, not as a punishment, but as a form of guidance. It nudges you, sometimes gently, sometimes with force, to release what is misaligned with your future, because it knows that clinging to the wrong people, situations, or dreams will hold you back from the life you are meant to live. There is a natural order to things, an invisible current that flows toward growth, expansion, and purpose. When we resist that current, we experience tension, frustration, and stagnation. The universe's interventions are a reminder that not everything in life is meant to last forever. People come and go, circumstances change, and plans shift. And each of these transitions carries a deeper purpose that we may not immediately understand. Sometimes a person exits your life because their presence was never meant to stay long term. They might have been a teacher, a mirror, or a catalyst for change. Their role was to help you recognize your strengths, face your fears, or awaken to your potential. Holding on to them beyond their purpose only creates resistance and unnecessary pain. Similarly, the universe removes situations that are no longer aligned with your highest good. This could be a job that once nurtured your skills, but now limits your growth, a routine that keeps you stagnant, or an environment that drains your energy instead of fueling your passion. Life pushes us to step into new spaces, to explore opportunities that match who we are becoming rather than who we were. Dreams also evolve, and sometimes the universe forces us to release old visions so we can embrace bigger, more authentic aspirations. What we once longed for may no longer suit our evolving identity, and clinging to it keeps us tethered to a version of ourselves that no longer exists. These moments of release can feel harsh, even unfair, because our minds are wired to resist loss. We fear the unknown, the uncertainty of what comes next, and the possibility that letting go means losing everything we worked for or loved deeply. Yet the universe operates from a perspective beyond our immediate understanding. It knows that every ending creates the necessary space for something new to enter. Every door that closes allows a path to open that is more aligned with our true potential. When we embrace this, we begin to see the universe's actions are not random but intentional, designed to protect us, guide us, and accelerate our growth. The removal of people, opportunities, or circumstances is often a form of protection, prevents us from settling for less than we deserve, from staying in environments that diminish our worth or block our progress. The universe pushes us away from situations that no longer serve us because it knows that clinging will only delay our journey toward fulfillment and happiness. Understanding this requires trust in the timing of life, trust in the unseen forces guiding us, and trust in our own resilience. It means acknowledging that even when something feels like a loss, it may actually be a rescue. It may be the universe clearing the path for a chapter that aligns more fully with our growth and purpose. Every forced release is an invitation to reflect, to realign, to step into a space that welcomes our authentic self. The universe's guidance is often subtle but persistent. It may manifest as discomfort, repeated obstacles, or sudden shifts that disrupt our sense of control. These moments challenge us to surrender our attachment, to release what we cannot change, and to trust that the flow of life is moving us toward what is truly meant for us. By understanding that the universe only removes what is misaligned, we can shift our perspective from resistance to acceptance. We begin to see endings not as failures, but as signposts pointing us toward growth, clarity, and greater alignment. We learn that letting go is not about losing, but about creating the necessary space to receive the abundance, connections, and experiences that are in harmony with our highest self. Every experience in life carries a lesson. And sometimes the most powerful lessons come wrapped in endings we never expected. When something or someone leaves your life, it can feel devastating, unfair, and confusing. We often resist these moments because our minds are conditioned to equate loss with failure, to cling to what is familiar, and to fear the uncertainty of what comes next. But if we pause and reflect, we can see that every forced goodbye carries a hidden lesson, a truth that the universe is trying to teach us. One of the first lessons is self-respect. When people or situations leave, it often reveals where we have been tolerating less than we deserve. Maybe we held onto a relationship that lacked reciprocity, a friendship that drained us, or a job that diminished our potential. The departure of these things forces us to recognize our own worth, to understand that we are deserving of respect, care, and alignment. It is a painful but necessary awakening, a moment when we confront the ways we may have compromised ourselves for the sake of comfort or familiarity. Boundaries are another crucial lesson hidden in these experiences. When someone exits our life, it is often because the natural flow of energy between us and them no longer aligns. Perhaps we allowed people to overstep, or perhaps we ignored red flags in hopes that things would improve. The universe's intervention is a reminder that establishing and maintaining healthy boundaries is essential. It teaches us that saying no, walking away, or refusing to tolerate certain behaviors is not selfish, but necessary for our emotional and spiritual growth. There is also the lesson of trust. Trust in the timing of life, trust in ourselves, and trust in the unfolding of the universe. Losing something can feel like a betrayal of our expectations, but it is often the universe's way of redirecting us toward what is truly aligned with our highest good. The lesson here is to have faith, even when we cannot see the full picture, and to understand that every ending has a purpose beyond our immediate comprehension. Patience is another virtue revealed through forced endings. We learn that not everything happens according to our timeline, and that growth, healing, and alignment take time. When the universe removes what no longer belongs, it creates space for something better, but that space requires us to wait, to reflect, and to prepare ourselves to receive what is coming. Another profound lesson is detachment. We learn that our happiness, peace, and sense of self should not be tied to external circumstances or people. When we are forced to let go, we confront our attachments and realize that clinging only prolongs suffering. Detachment does not mean indifference. It means recognizing that we cannot control everything and that our inner stability must come from within. Grief and acceptance are intertwined lessons as well. The universe teaches us to feel, to process, and to release emotions rather than suppress them. Letting go is not instantaneous. It is a process that involves acknowledging pain, understanding its purpose, and gradually moving toward peace. In doing so, we build resilience, emotional intelligence, and a deeper connection to ourselves. Finally, the universe often teaches the lesson of alignment and preparation for abundance. By removing what no longer serves us, it clears the path for opportunities, people, and experiences that resonate with our true essence. It is an invitation to rise above past limitations, to embrace growth, and to step into the life we are capable of living. For the lessons hidden in endings are subtle yet transformative. They challenge us to reflect on our choices, our attachments, and our understanding of ourselves. They ask us to confront discomfort, to release control, and to trust the unseen forces guiding us. Through these experiences, we learn to navigate life with wisdom, courage, and clarity, recognizing that every departure is a doorway to a higher version of ourselves. Letting go creates space, and space is the invisible gift that allows new opportunities, relationships, and experiences to enter our lives. When we cling too tightly to what no longer serves us, we are essentially closing doors that could lead to growth, happiness, and fulfillment. The universe often forces us to release attachments not to punish us, but to prepare us for something better, something aligned with the person we are becoming. Think about a garden. If you keep holding on to dead plants, no matter how beautiful they once were, they take up space and prevent new seeds from growing. Life works the same way. Every ending clears the way for beginnings. Every loss creates room for abundance. Every departure makes space for alignment. But creating this space is not always easy. It requires courage, because letting go often comes with fear. The fear of uncertainty, the fear of being alone, and the fear that what we release may never return. Yet, it is precisely through releasing we demonstrate trust in ourselves, in life, and in the universe. Letting go is a form of surrender, and surrender is not weakness. It is strength. It is the strength to accept that some things are not meant to be forced, that control is an illusion, and that the flow of life is guiding us toward what we truly need. When we embrace this, we begin to see that space is not emptiness. Space is potential. Space is freedom. It allows us to reconnect with ourselves, to rediscover our desires, and to align with our purpose without releasing what is past. We cannot fully engage with what is coming. The universe removes what is misaligned so that our energy, attention, and focus can be redirected toward what matters most. It is a gentle yet firm reminder that holding on to what is gone or unnecessary only drains our energy and prevents growth. Relationships often illustrate this principle clearly. People enter our lives for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, but when the reason or season ends, holding on disrupts the natural flow. Letting go allows us to honor the lessons learned, cherish the memories, and move forward with gratitude rather than resentment. It is not about forgetting, but about recognizing that what no longer aligns is no longer our responsibility. To carry opportunities function similarly. Sometimes we cling to a plan, a job, or a path because we invested time and effort into it, but the universe may be guiding us elsewhere. Letting go of what is no longer aligned allows us to seize opportunities that are waiting for us, opportunities that match our evolving skills, values, and passions, even within ourselves. Letting go creates internal space. We often hold on to past mistakes, regrets, and limiting beliefs that weigh us down. Releasing these internal attachments is just as crucial as releasing external ones. When we let go of self-doubt, guilt, and fear, we open ourselves to confidence, clarity, and possibility. The space created is not merely physical or external. It is emotional, mental, and spiritual. It is a clearing that enables growth, creativity, and alignment on every level of our being. By understanding the power of space, we begin to see that endings are not failures. They are essential steps in the journey toward wholeness. The universe is constantly balancing removal and addition, loss and gain, endings and beginnings. It teaches us that life flows best when we release what no longer serves us, making room for what aligns with our highest good. Space allows us to prioritize ourselves, to cultivate our passions, to strengthen our boundaries, and to attract people and experiences that truly resonate with who we are. The moment we embrace this truth, we realize that letting go is not a loss. It is an act of creation. It is the universe's way of clearing the path for us, giving us room to grow, and inviting us to step fully into the life we are capable of living. Space is freedom, and freedom is the foundation for transformation, abundance, and alignment. Painful goodbyes are some of life's most difficult experiences, yet they are often the moments that catalyze the greatest growth. When someone leaves our lives, it can feel like the world is collapsing around us, like a part of our identity has been ripped away. We resist these endings because our minds and hearts are wired to fear loss, to cling to familiarity, and to avoid discomfort at almost any cost. But what feels like destruction in the moment is frequently a redirection toward a better, more aligned path. Painful goodbyes reveal truths that are impossible to ignore when life forces them into our awareness. They show us where we have been tolerating less than we deserve, where we have compromised our values, or where we have invested in things that no longer reflect who we are. Often the pain is intense because the attachment was deep, and the more we invested in something, the harder it is to let go. But the intensity of the pain is also an indicator of the significance of the lesson. Each goodbye carries the potential to reshape our understanding of ourselves, our priorities, and our relationships. It forces introspection, a time to reflect on what truly matters and what has been holding us back. One of the most profound realizations that comes with a painful goodbye is the recognition that our worth is not dependent on external validation. When someone or something departs, it tests our sense of self, challenging us to find stability and confidence within ourselves rather than in the approval or presence of others. These moments teach us resilience, showing us that we are capable of surviving endings, of navigating uncertainty, and of rebuilding our lives with intention and clarity. Painful goodbyes also teach patience and trust. We are reminded that life's timing is not always aligned with our own expectations, and that sometimes the universe removes people or opportunities to prepare us for what is truly meant to be. The discomfort we feel is temporary, but the clarity and growth that follow can be transformative. Often when we look back at moments of intense loss, we realize that what we once perceived as a tragedy was actually a blessing in disguise. Relationships that ended may have liberated us from patterns that were unhealthy or misaligned. Careers we thought we needed may have opened doors to paths that were more fulfilling. Situations we clung to may have prevented us from embracing opportunities better suited to our growth. Painful goodbyes are also lessons in gratitude. They remind us to appreciate the experiences we had, to honor the growth they provided, and to carry forward the wisdom gained. Even though endings can be harsh, they leave behind a foundation for the next chapter, one that is richer, more aligned, and more authentic. They challenge us to release control, to accept uncertainty, and to trust that life has a plan beyond what we can currently see. Moreover, these goodbyes teach emotional intelligence. We learn to navigate complex feelings of sadness, anger, and disappointment while cultivating empathy, compassion, and understanding. We discover the importance of closure, reflection, and self-care. By processing pain rather than avoiding it, we strengthen our capacity to engage deeply with life and relationships moving forward. Ultimately, painful goodbyes are not meant to break us. They are meant to awaken us. They force us to confront what no longer serves us, to recognize our boundaries, and to realign with our true path. Each departure is an invitation to release what is misaligned, to step into personal power, and to embrace the growth that comes from letting go. They are reminders that endings are not permanent obstacles, but rather redirections, opening the door to possibilities, abundance, and experiences that better match who we are becoming. Through these experiences, we begin to understand that pain and loss are not enemies. They are guides, teachers, and catalysts for transformation, shaping us into the people we are meant to become. Courage to release what no longer aligns with our lives is one of the most transformative acts we can undertake. Many people confuse letting go with weakness, believing that holding on demonstrates strength or commitment. But in reality, the courage to walk away requires far more resilience, self-awareness, and inner power than clinging ever could. Letting go is not a passive act. It is an active choice to prioritize your growth, your peace, and your alignment with what truly matters. It is the decision to step out of fear and into trust, to surrender control over outcomes that are beyond your power, and to embrace the uncertainty of the unknown. The first step in cultivating this courage is acknowledging the truth of your circumstances. This means looking honestly at relationships, situations, or dreams and recognizing whether they are supporting your growth or holding you back. It requires honesty with yourself about what is no longer serving your purpose, even if letting it go feels painful or unfair. Once we confront the reality of our situation, the next step is embracing the discomfort that comes with change. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the willingness to move forward in spite of it. The process of release often involves confronting difficult emotions, sadness, anger, guilt, or even relief intertwined with loss. Accepting these feelings rather than suppressing them is essential to developing the strength needed to let go fully. Courage also comes from understanding that our worth is not defined by external circumstances. Too often, we stay attached because we tie our value to validation, affection, or approval from others. Releasing what no longer aligns requires the awareness that we are inherently worthy regardless of who stays or leaves, and that our peace and happiness are not contingent on someone else's choices. Another dimension of courage is patience and trust in the process of life. Letting go is not always instantaneous. It is a journey that may involve repeated attempts, reflection, and self-compassion. Trusting that the universe is guiding you toward experiences and connections that match your evolving self helps ease the fear of uncertainty. Courage is reinforced when we recognize the long-term benefits of release. Every act of letting go creates space for clarity, space for growth, space for new opportunities, and space for people who are truly aligned with our journey. Without that release, we remain stuck in cycles of disappointment, frustration, and stagnation. Walking away is also an act of self-preservation. It is a declaration that we will no longer tolerate situations, diminish our energy, relationships that undermine our value, or dreams that no longer reflect our evolving purpose. It is choosing to protect our emotional, mental, and spiritual well-being, even when it means making difficult choices. Courage grows stronger when we reframe endings as opportunities rather than failures. Every departure or shift potential for transformation, and seeing it through this lens allows us to move forward with hope, curiosity, and openness rather than fear and regret. The courage to release also requires humility to accept that we cannot control everything and that the universe may have a better plan than the one we envisioned. It involves surrendering the illusion of control and embracing faith in the unknown. Understanding that growth often lies just beyond our comfort zone. Moreover, letting go is an act of alignment with our authentic self. When we release what no longer resonates, we create space to live in harmony with our values, passions, and true purpose. It allows us to pursue what feels meaningful, attract what is genuinely compatible, and cultivate the life we were meant to live. Courage, therefore, is not merely about enduring endings. It is about actively choosing what we allow into our lives, protecting our energy, and trusting the process of growth. It is a daily practice of awareness, self-respect, and intentionality. Each time we summon the courage to release what is misaligned, we strengthen our resilience, deepen our self-knowledge, and expand our capacity to live fully and authentically. In this way, courage becomes a transformative force, guiding us toward alignment, abundance, and the highest version of ourselves. In the journey of life, letting go is not a sign of defeat, but a powerful act of alignment, growth, and self-respect. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, removes what no longer serves us, not to punish, but to guide us toward experiences, people, and opportunities that resonate with our true path. Each ending, each forced goodbye, each shift in our lives carries a lesson, lessons of trust, courage, boundaries, self-worth, and patience. By embracing these lessons and releasing attachments that hold us back, we create the space necessary for transformation, abundance, and authentic fulfillment. The pain of letting go is temporary, but the growth it initiates can reshape our lives in ways we never imagined. When we trust the process, surrender to the flow, and courageously step into the unknown, we open ourselves to a life that is not just survived, but truly lived, aligned with the highest version of ourselves and guided by the quiet, unyielding wisdom of the universe.